Welcome to CCFR's Canada Downrange. Sport shooting is the most exciting and least covered sport in Canada. Come with us as we travel across our great nation to discover the coolest events, amazing locations, and the most interesting people. Today on CCFR's Canada Downrange, we revisit each of the amazing places that we have been to this year, remembering some of the best moments from each of the exciting events.
It involves going from standing to kneeling to sitting to prone, shooting around obstacles, those sorts of things. So it's definitely a little more challenging than sitting at a bench.
The Dynamic Shooting Sports British Columbia Association is a society founded in 2015 with the following purpose. The association exists to promote safe and responsible participation in dynamic shooting sports.
We teach a basic, just grip, stance, sight picture, and then we give the ladies 50 rounds. They shoot 25 22 rounds, 25 9mm rounds.
The CCFR puts on ladies' events all across Canada, and Yolanda Buzane is the main instructor for today's event. Shooters of all skill levels, both young and old, come to these events to take advantage of the one-on-one instruction and the fun environment.
DCRA was designed back before World War I to help the Army get marksmanship training through civilian participation.
The Dominion of Canada Rifle Association was founded in 1868 and is the national governing body for full-bore target shooting. It promotes and supports the pursuit of excellence in military and civilian marksmanship as a positive and significant contribution to Canada, to the sport of shooting, and the safe handling of firearms.
MDT is a precision rifle accessory manufacturer, mainly chassis systems. So chassis systems for bolt-action rifles is how MDT got started back in 2009.
MDT is a leader in the marketplace for the manufacturing of chassis systems for precision rifles. Their products are used by many shooting sports enthusiasts, law enforcement, and military personnel. We head to Winnipeg, Manitoba to watch the MSCA set up a sporting clay course.
You usually throw in a pair of targets at a time, and if you break the target, it's considered a break. If you miss, it's considered a miss, and you get points for each break that you accumulate throughout the course.
By setting up the machines at different angles and taking the background into consideration, it becomes much more challenging than traditional skeet shooting. We visit a trade show and range day put on by Select Shooting Supplies. There were many people that took part in skeet shooting, handgun target shooting, browsing the vendors, and speaking with their representatives. The CCFR was also present to talk to interested gun owners as well as hand out information and sell merchandise.
As a gunsmith, I do all my own barrel work. I make my own bullets, so there's a whole sideline gambit to just the shooting part of it. It's, you get in and basically try and control as much of what happens as you can, trying to make it as good for yourself as you can.
Rosebud Club was given the honor of hosting next World Bench Rest Championships to be held in July 2019.
So it's all about how quickly can you go ding on each of these steel plates, hitting the last one last, not first.
Buffalo Target Shooters Association is based out of Calgary, Alberta, and they were holding their Steel Challenge match at the world-class Homestead Shooting Facility. This well-established gun range is nestled in the heart of beautiful Kananaskis country, Alberta, and is governed by the Alberta Provincial Rifle Association.
Remember, if you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.
I've been shooting probably as far back as I can remember. I think my dad taught me to shoot when I was probably around 8 or 9.
That's gonna be hard for
our rotation 17's up around here.
While some of the people at this event came for the competition, there was still a strong feeling of camaraderie, and the spirit of giving was the feeling that everyone left with.
I started hunting with my dad when I was around 14 and met lots of friends and cool guys to hunt and start shooting with. I got more into shooting sports when I was around 18. I shot IPSC as well. Did a little bit of Silhouette 22, and now I'm into PRS a little bit. I just really enjoy the sport and the camaraderie, the friendships, and it's just a really good place to meet people and to have fun.
Since its inception, GY6 has made large donations to Wounded Warriors Canada, Warhorse Foundation, and Can Praxis, all charities known for their focus on mental health.
How it works essentially is when the buzzer goes, the shooter will run through the course of fire. It's just steel targets, so a hit is a point, and any stage will have anywhere from 8 to 12 rounds and probably anywhere from 1 to 4 targets.
We head to Taber, Alberta, where the Southern Alberta Precision Rifle League is holding a PRS event at the Taber Shooting Foundation. If the competition level is any indication, there would be plenty of shooting enthusiasts who would gladly take the opportunity to be part of an exciting league like this in Canada.
Sporting clays is a sport where you're out enjoying simulated hunting situations, and you're measuring your score against yourself, not others. You can measure against others, but the whole idea of sporting clays is to try and improve with each time that you're out, make your process better, make your breaking of clays more accurate, and to increase your score over the years as you go along.
So Project Mapleseed is a 100% volunteer-run non-profit organization. whose goal is to basically take civilian marksmanship instruction and bring it across country to Canadians. Our main objective is to provide Canadians with affordable and effective access to marksmanship training, and also provide a foundation for local groups to start their own Mapleseed events and maintain that program of instruction on their own without us necessarily being involved. This is our second year of operation. We started this up last year, and we were planning to have 4 events, but due to the overwhelming response and the great support that CCFR has provided as the national sponsor, we were able to expand that from 4 events to 25 events, covering Alberta all the way to New Brunswick.
The Mission and District Rod and Gun Club in Mission, BC was the host for this Project Mapleseed training clinic.
If you're all finished.
The MDRGC's mission is to cultivate the conservation of all wildlife, to promote good sportsmanship, and to educate youth in the art of handling all sports equipment on the range and in the field. We will spend a day with Rod Giltaka of the CCFR as he works behind the counter of international shooting supplies in Surrey, BC.
What you got there?
I like the saddle.
It's a Mossberg. Magazine fed pump action. Holds 10 shells.
That's one the eye relief for me. You know, once you're out on the range, it's going to mess with the parallax and the eye focus to clean up the clarity. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
It's at small targets. You have various time frames that you have to get your shooting done within. We're going to have some moving targets as well, so that's very tricky. We also have some targetry that you have to recognize, find on the target frame, and then shoot. So it's going to employ your spotter as well as the guy that's shooting. These guns are a lot heavier, and we get lots of older guys that come out to this match, so we try and take the cardio-oriented stuff out of it.
Target up.
Chilliwack, BC was the beautiful backdrop for another competition held by the BCRA. Experienced shooters will find themselves challenged by the opportunity to be tested on a broad variety of simulations unique to this venue.
People will often ask, what gun should I buy to shoot IPSC with? And my standard answer is, buy a gun that you like to shoot, and there'll be a division that gun will be appropriate for use in.
We get a glimpse into the IPSC Nationals held at the Selkirk Game and Fish Association.
Always point the muzzle of the gun downrange.
What's different? You remember what you shot?
Every year, the CCFR teams up with the Eastern Ontario Shooting Club, Ontario's third largest shooting facility, to host a ladies' range day. This is a great opportunity for women of all ages to come and try shooting a variety of guns, many of them doing it for the very first time. The CCFR was out in full force with qualified instructors to guide the women to help them feel comfortable handling the firearms.
When you first start out, we put speed into anything, it gets tougher and tougher. So you start out slow, and you just move faster. And what you'll notice is when you start slow to going faster, you'll start missing balloons. You keep that speed till you've cleaned it up, till your mind is caught up with your hand. It's just your brain has to catch up with your hand. Now you're going faster, now your horse is going faster. Like, is he trained to go faster? There's so many things that come into play. If he's smooth, you can easily catch up and start catching up to the balloons again.
We will spend time with Bill Crosby, an experienced gunsmith who has had a long career customizing ammo and firearms, also known as wildcatting. After checking out the custom ammo, Rod asked Bill to explain about wildcatting.
Well, there's your 308. Wildcat is something out of the ordinary, where you take a standard cartridge and you modify it to your liking. And therefore, it is no longer a standard cartridge made by the manufacturer. It's the Wildcat cartridge, just like anything else that's made to your specifications.
I think the community is hungry for a show dedicated solely to them. I think there's an enormous gap in the industry between guys who are coming out of POW classes and looking to learn actually how to shoot. So we wanted to bring leading industry professionals, we wanted to bring instructors, and we wanted to introduce them directly to new shooters and get them educated and provide that level of training that we as a community need in regards to safety and proficiency.
All right, today's tip are the 2 legal options you have to store a restricted firearm in your home. So unlike the non-restricted firearm, you had 4 legal options. You only have 2 with restricted. So number 1, the default is your firearms are always unloaded. But in Canada, you can only load a firearm when you intend to use it and only in an area where it can be legally and safely discharged. And your home apparently is not one of those places, so don't load firearms in your home. Now, I've got my restricted firearm. I'm gonna make sure it's unloaded. I always do a look and a touch, and I always do it 2 or 3 times because it costs me nothing to make sure this thing is totally unloaded. Now my firearm is unloaded, and the first option is unloaded, secure locking device on the firearm. So I'm a big fan of cables, stick my cable lock on there. That goes into a securely locked case that is difficult to break into. So unloaded, secure locking device on the firearm in a locked box. Ammunition in the box is okay. The other option is unloaded, in a gun safe. So basically, if I keep my restricted firearm in a gun safe, I do not require a secure locking device on the firearm, which I actually like quite a bit. A gun safe is the best that you can possibly do as a law-abiding, virtuous gun owner, because we're trying to make sure that people don't steal our firearms so that they would use them in criminal activity. We want to make sure that we're protecting our firearms the best that we possibly can. You know, it depends on your circumstances, but doing it the best that we possibly can so that we are going to avoid any unauthorized access by kids or whoever. Okay, so gun safe. So one more time, the firearm's unloaded in the gun safe. No secure locking device required on the firearm if it's in the locked safe. Ammunition in the safe is okay. So great way to store your firearms and a great way to keep them safe from any unauthorized access. Hopefully that helps. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
Remember, if you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.
The Calgary Shooting Center is a world-class training facility that offers instruction to those with no previous training, as well as the expert marksman. At the facility, there is a dedicated classroom for teaching and an indoor range to practice those skills. This is where Rod and James discuss the current restrictions and classifications of various firearms in Canada.
International Barrel started July of 2017. It took us a while to get spun up. We're a year in and we're producing lots of different types of barrels, all high quality stuff.
IBI's barrels are handcrafted to achieve the highest quality final product possible, good enough to exceed the standards of the world's top shooters.
Having the ability to safely operate in a dynamic function in AR-15 or a sporting rifle. I think a big part of it is that it's not just a matter of marksmanship, though that's a major component, but that there's a lot of technical considerations and there's a lot of strategy behind it as well.
To protect your rights to own and use firearms, support the CCFR by going to firearmrights.ca.